Alright, it's test fit time. Time to drop it down. Number one. Let's see how it comes out. Give it a test fit. It's not even going to be close probably, but oh well. The first of many. Yep. Do some trimming. Hi everybody. Welcome back to Steele Dreams. As you can see earlier, we got the body off the Buick chassis. I got the Cadillac off the Cadillac chassis. So we got the Cadillac chassis in the shop. We did a test drop on the Buick on top of the chassis, kind of get an idea where we are. We've taken some more measurements, and we've got a game plan down what we're going to do. So we got the chassis needs to be stretched 3 3/4 inches, and the frame rails need to be narrowed 5 1/8 per side, total of 10.5 or 10 1/4 inches overall, narrower. So we're going to cut the outside of the frame rails off, fit in the new frame rails, and then tack everything in place. Put the body back on the chassis again and see how we're fitting. So I've made some preliminary marks in the chassis. I'm going to show you those. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut one end out, slide the frame rail in, the new frame rail into the chassis, tack it in place, and then we're going to cut the other end out and slide it back in together. So both ends go in at the same time. By doing this, we're going to cut the frame in half so we keep the frame level or square, and then everything will jive when we go back to put it back together again, and then we'll go down the road crooked. That sucks. Don't want to be dog tracking down the road. No dogs tracking down the road. So, anyway, I gotta sign off to switch this thing around, so I'll be right back. Alrighty then, so you can see we got all 4 sections of the frame, or the corners of the frame, cut out where we can put the new frame rails inside the old frame. So we're going to put these angle iron on one side and a piece of tubing on the other, because that's what I have. And we're going to clamp it down to keep the frame level and square. So we cut both sides in the middle of the frame, and we're going to push the frame out 3 3/4 inches on both sides. So they're going to cut it in half, and then we're going to clamp down that piece of angle iron, and go to the other side, cut it out, clamp down a piece of tubing, and then push the frame back 3 3/4 inches. Clamp it back down again, put the new tubing in, make sure it's in place, make sure it's all where it belongs, and then we're going to weld, and we're going to tack and weld that piece in place. Then in the future, you'll see where we're going to trim out the outer rails, take them off, or at least the majority of it, and then the ends we're going to trim down and fold them in and re-weld them to the new frame rails. It'll give it plenty of strength, plenty of structure, and it'll be safe to go down the road just right. So the new frame rails are tacked in. There's the first tack. The front's been pretty much welded. We went ahead and took care of all that. So you can see the frame's been pulled back 3 3/4, and now we're going to pull off the braces on both sides, unclamp it and pull them off. The other side's been tacked there in the front and the back, and she's ready to go. So we can pull those outer frame rails off, and the majority of them at least, like I said, and then we can start trimming down each corner and folding them around. You can see this section here I marked out with a paint marker, little white dots. That's the section we're going to cut out and then fold the outer area in. And as you'll see in the future video, the future part of the video, you'll see where it's been welded and it all nice and follows in, all fades in nice and clean. In the front here, we trimmed around a corner because we want to kind of follow the same kind of shape it had originally. And remove that center section out of there, and then the bottom section as well, so it'll fold in clean. All right, so as you can see here, we trimmed everything out so we can push this thing inside, walled across the beam here and down around the back. Here's the front section. That's it cut out. We're going to fold that piece back in again and then weld it all together. I want to get a picture of it so you can see now how it's getting much cleaner and cleaner as we go. Other side's all done too. So now I'm going to crimp those down and clean up a little bit, and then we're going to weld them in. And I'll show you a picture when we're done. All right. So we got the rails all done, burned in. The top side's done. We got to do the bottom after we get it up. But you can see, that's what we did. We stuffed it inside the frame rail, burned it in, cut the outside part off, pushed it over. Got the inside done, just welded that tab. I left that tab so we had something to weld to. And I'll finish off this back corner here later on. See on the other side, you can see how it's done. The trans mount, we had to shorten it, get it placed in position, and welded in. The front came out real cool. Had a little bit for the downside here. You had a bit of an angle. It's got it all burned in, pull that all around. You see we trimmed off the outside here, and pushed that all inside there. Welded up nice and clean. There's the other side. Alright, so now we have our rails in. They're 42 1/4 apart. We got, kind of bent over here. We got our little outriggers all done. They're all bolted back up, little soldiers, all lined up. Okay. So now we're going to lower the body down in the chassis, get it positioned where it needs to be at. Okay, get everything all centered. Get the wheels where they belong. At the same time, we're probably going to head put this bumper on. So you can see here, we bolted the horns back on the bumper again. We're just not sure where we're going to end up cutting them off at. So we cut the horns off the front of the Cadillac chassis, just do like a pre-cut, where we're going to be at. So after we get it in place, then we're going to do some more measuring and figuring out where we're going to do the front of it after we get the back of it done. So the drive shaft's just kind of hovering there right now because of course it's 3 3/4 too short because we lengthened the frame for 3 3/4. So I have to have that stretched out 3 3/4 so it messes up. Everything's looking super cool so far. Everything's nice and clean. It's kind of cool the way it came in exactly where basically the rest of the chassis goes. Nice and straight. So anyway, so we're going to drop his body down, and then like I said, we're going to do the front bumper, and if we have time to do the back bumper, we will. We're probably going to do this the front bumper for right now. And the radiator support, get all that stuff in place. We got to do some trimming around here too, probably, because the way it's going to drop down in place here, this stuff's going to be in the way, I think. So, all right, here we go.